go. Let's take the fingers apart. Oh, that feels so good. I've had my fingers in this position for like 30 minutes at least, and I'm free. Hello, today I am going to be making 3D cherry blossom nails, as you saw from the beginning and the thumbnail, so let's just get into it. I'm starting off with a base of Holo Taco's Too Good to Be Blue. As always, I made sure to cap the free edge to promote longevity for this polish, and now let's get into looking at these gel polishes that I'm going to be using to make the petals for my cherry blossoms. So I used a Color Club nail lacquer gel, and I also used this Ohuhu gel that I got like 3 years ago or so. I applied both of the gel polishes to an old lid that I use as a paint palette, and then I mixed them up because the color was not quite what I wanted, and this is the shape that I'm going to be trying to emulate. The whole entire time I did this process, I could not really get the cherry blossom shape correct, like the shape of the petals. I just kind of defaulted to doing like chunky hearts, but I realized that's not like the authentic shape, or at least the shape that I was going for. So I used a sandwich bag as like my base, and I painted the petals on it, cured the petals, and then peeled them off. I needed 5 petals per blossom, so this was quite the time-consuming process. Once I got all the petals off though, I went in like kind of groups of 3 or so and just placed a dot of gel on the sandwich baggie, didn't cure it, and tried laying like 2 or 3 petals per blossom, and then I cured it, and then I added a fresh dot of gel to the middle, and then I added 2 or 3 more petals depending on how many. Some of the blossoms did end up having like 6 petals, not very correct or accurate, but I was trying my best. So yeah, I just kept doing that. I would add a fresh dot of gel to the middle of the cherry blossom, add the petals, and then cure. And then once I was happy with how the flowers looked, I just cured them under that little lamp like 2 or 3 times on like each side. I really am not proficient in gel anything. My knowledge of gel is very limited, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but I did just want to make sure that like everything was cured, or as cured as possible, before I went about sticking these on top of my skin. As you'll see later though, I did use liquid latex to attach them, which I kind of was hoping would act as a barrier. I didn't have any issues with my skin reacting to like the gel being on my skin, but just be careful. Whenever you're working with gel, always be careful, because you can accidentally like expose yourself to chemicals that can be harmful to your skin. So you just want to make sure that you're educated before you go sticking these flowers on your fingers. I say that as if I'm educated about gel. I mean, I like have basic knowledge of gel. I know that you just shouldn't put like gel on your hands. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about gel now, so let's actually get back to the nail art. So as you see here, I have all 4 of my fingers together because I was trying to map out how I wanted this branch of cherry blossoms to kind of go across my nails, and so I needed all 4 fingers to be together. And once I got the very, very janky mapping out of the branch, I then went in and thickened up the branch to my liking on each nail individually. I'm also showing you how I did like the design on my thumb, but the thumb design was very much an afterthought. It kind of did not matter. Like the main star of the show were the 4 nails because I had the 3D cherry blossoms on them, and so the thumb was kind of just like an afterthought. But for over or about a year now, I've been trying to incorporate my thumb into these 4, what used to be 4 fingernail designs, for photo purposes. When I take my photos on Instagram, I try to include my thumbnail, so I felt like obligated that I had to do something for my thumb for this look, so I'm just doing the same design essentially, as my other fingers, just on my thumb. For this design, even though I tried to map it out when I was conceptualizing it, I knew that I was going to just kind of be randomly placing the cherry blossoms wherever on my nails. And so that made me hesitant to really make a lot of effort and really paint very detailed 2D cherry blossoms when I was doing this part of the nail art, as you see here on my middle finger, because I wasn't sure where I was going to be placing those 3D blossoms, and I didn't want to spend all this time and effort painting like super realistically for the base ones. So I did kind of like scale things back. I don't want to talk about it because normally I try to do like super detailed things, but it kind of felt pointless to do that when I was like most likely going to be covering a lot of these up with those 3D elements. So yeah, I just did my best, or not really my best. Okay, I did like 60%. And that's what I did for these base cherry blossoms. Okay, so next, moving on quickly to the branch. I actually didn't really film the process of me making the branch, and that's because I didn't realize that I wanted or needed this branch, this 3D branch for this nail design until I was like messing around with my hot glue gun while I was like ready to put the blossoms onto my nails, and like it didn't occur to me that I needed the branch to attach the blossoms to until very late in this design. So yeah, I just made that branch using a hot glue. I put it on the plastic baggie again, peeled it off. I cut it up with a cuticle nipper to try and get like some jagged edges and all. I painted it with acrylic paint, and yeah, I placed it on my fingers with liquid latex, and as you see here, I finally got to the part that I was really looking forward to, which was actually placing all of these cherry blossoms. It took forever to get to this point because this was like day 4 of this project at this point, and I was just so excited to see this design come to life. So I was just very excited to finally get to place all these cherry blossoms on my nails. I wasn't quite sure at first how I was going to attach the cherry blossoms onto the branch and my nails, and I was about to grab some nail glue to attach them all, and then of course it hit me. I was like, oh, I could just get liquid latex and do this, and that will be so much easier and so much less harmful and damaging to my skin. Like, no, do not put nail glue on your skin, especially if you don't have to. Don't do that. That again could irritate your skin. Like the gel could irritate your skin, the nail glue could irritate your skin. So just be wise. Don't do that. I was having some trouble placing some of the flowers, but I did eventually get all the ones I wanted onto the design. They were just a little bit finicky. As I just continue showing you the footage of me placing these cherry blossoms, this is kind of like the gist of the design. It's really wild that such a long and time-consuming process that this was. Like I said, it took like 4 days in total, that it can be summed up in like a under 13-minute video. But if you are watching this or listening or care at all, I appreciate that, because I enjoy rewatching the process, seeing what I did, seeing the many mistakes I made. It's just really interesting to see, especially because as soon as I was done photographing this design, I ripped that. I ripped it off. I have the footage of that at the end, but I was so ready to take these blossoms off of my hands because as you saw, I like liquid latexed the branch onto my ring finger and pinky finger, so I couldn't move them. And just for the sake of the design, I didn't move any of my fingers, so I held this position for at least 45 minutes, according to the timestamps on my footage. For the final little bit of detail, I did just go back in with my detail brush and a dark pink watered down acrylic paint mixture just to add a little bit more depth to these flowers, and it was so much easier to paint them when they were actually like attached to my nail instead of sliding around on the paint palette. And this, oh, not yet, wait for it. Oh gosh, how long is this footage gonna go? And here's the final completed look. I've already said this on other platforms, but I really am proud of how this design turned out, and I really love it. You know, I just had this idea that I wanted to do a 3D cherry blossom look, and I wanted to somehow have the petals flying or blossoming or blooming off of my nail, like going from 2D to 3D kind of like a pop-up storybook. I wanted them to pop off the storybook that is my nail bed. I don't know. I just had this idea, and it's always so fun and so rewarding to just have an idea actually come to life and to have that idea look good. So I am really proud of this look. I'm proud of all the time and effort that went into this look. I just spent hours painting those individual petals and then attaching them and then adding more paint. And I know it's not perfect, but for the materials I had and the time I had, I think it turned out pretty cool given the circumstances. In these macro shots, you can kind of see that a lot of the petals ended up with like fibers from my background. I use a tote bag as my background, like the black background you see right now. And during this 4-day process, those petals were going all over. I was dropping them, they were flying all over, so they were getting a lot of fibers stuck onto them. And there's only so much I could do in my cheap version of knockoff Photoshop, so excuse that. Okay, I can't wait to take this off. Don't want to ruin it, but that's cute. Look how that's intact. Is that in focus? I can't see. My light is actually kind of blinding me from being able to see right now. Duh. Liquid latex is such a better alternative. And so I used that and it worked super well. Look at that. See how it's stuck on? It worked super well. No skin irritation, and I don't know why I did not think of that last year. Let's take the last few cherry blossoms off and then I can stop doing this pose. There's a little bit of liquid latex left behind. Oh my gosh. I'm like breathing heavy. This was arduous. Okay, here we go. Let's take the fingers apart. Oh, that feels so good. I've had my fingers in this position for like 30 minutes at least. That feels really good. I'm going to take off this sleeve now that I used for photos. I put the sleeve on beforehand because I didn't want to try to stick all the cherry blossoms in there for filming, and I'm free. That was a bit of live audio bonus rambling from me as I was removing all the cherry blossoms and taking my hand out of that sweater. It was super hot that day and I could not be more excited to take everything off. And that's gonna be all for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this art process take place. Let me know if you have any nail art ideas, comments, suggestions in the comments. My last video got no comments, so it's been a very lonely place over there. So I would definitely appreciate hearing your thoughts, comments, suggestions if you have any. But other than that, thank you so much again for watching if you did watch, and I really appreciate it. And thank you if you want to check out any other videos I have, or if you want to check me out on other socials. I am at Haysalto. You can find me all over the place, posting pictures of my cat, posting pictures of my nails, and yeah, that's gonna be it for me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, goodbye.